Before we begin, this podcast is proudly brought to you by DubaiView, your boutique luxury real estate partner. We deliberately keep our family of clients small because we believe in building relationships, not just closing deals. If you are looking for your dream home in Palm Jumeirah, Emirates Hills or Dubai Hills Estate, we should talk. Head to our website for a free consultation. Let's find your perfect Dubai home together. Now back to our conversation. Welcome back to another DubaiView episode podcast. This week I'm joined with James Sahota, very well known as a seasoned real estate advisor. Thank you so much for having you here.
Oh, thank you, Mario. God, what a great intro. Thank you so much.
You're more than welcome. James, I guess I can say something about you. You fall in love with property investments when I see your last stories and your last podcasts. Why did you took the journey going into property investments and not into stocks, forex, or other developments?
Okay, so look, for me, Mario, it's a simple thing. I like to see what I'm investing in. I like to be able to look at it. I like to be able to touch it. I like to be able to caress it, go up to it, And for me, I've never understood stocks. I've always lost money on crypto and all of these other investment strategies that I know people make a hell of a lot of money on. For me, they've just never worked. I've always been a very tangible person that I need to see where my money is going and how my money is growing. And coming from London and an Indian community, Indians are very, very well known in the UK for investing in real estate. They immigrated into the UK into the 40s and the 50s. And if you look at the stats of the UK now, Indian people own the most amount of property in the UK. They own more property than British people.
I guess as well in Dubai.
Yeah, exactly. So for me, I saw this around me. When I was a kid, I used to see that uncle who would have that brand new 500 S-Class and you think, what the hell is this guy doing to drive that? Then you see another uncle with a 7 Series BMW. I'm talking the old 80s, 90s cars. And as a child, you're thinking, what do these guys do? And it all kept coming back down to real estate, business, property. So I thought, very early on, I knew that I wanted to get into property. And it was my mother at the age of 23. She gave me a decision. She said, look, you've got an opportunity here to buy your first home. Or you can go and be stupid like all your friends and go and buy a brand new car. And trust me, Mario, I wanted that brand new car, man, because I had a 1991 Saab 900. It was a good car, man. But when you're trying to pick up chicks, you can't pick up chicks in that car, man. They look at you and think it's your granddad's car. But I put it all down to my mother, man. She almost forced me to buy that first property. And if I hadn't bought that first property, I wouldn't be sitting here right now. So yeah, I chose real estate.
Totally agree. So similar like me, for me as well, in the young years, I said, how is it possible that this wealthy people can afford 8 units, 10 units, having that car? And one day I was sitting with some man, he was, I guess, at least 30 years older than me. I was 16.
Yeah.
I said, how is it possible that you can go 5 times a year into holidays, having a nice Ferrari, having a nice home, every time relaxed? I see you morning in the gym, evening playing golf. Like, what are you doing? And he said one sentence to me, and this was sticking with me. He said, Mario, we are living in a system, especially in Europe, who people in the school got manifested how you are working for money and how you're working in a system who want that you're working for money and paying a lot of taxes. But if you understood going out of the system and the money works for you, I say then you can afford that cars, that nice house, and you can go playing golf and you can go to the gym. And it was smashed me so much. It's impossible. So, and then I started to watch how to invest in property, or how I get the first amount of money to invest in property. It's not like just like this. I invest in property. I go to the bank and say, please, I need a mortgage. Finance me that apartment. So we had a similar way. Nice. But coming back to your story, you were starting in UK.
Yes.
Can you explain a little bit what you did in UK? You entered there as well in the real estate market?
Yeah. So look, when I was, I did the normal system, went through the school system, did my education. I got a degree. I got a master's degree, and I'm actually a qualified teacher, so I can teach anywhere in the world. But I realized very, very early on that I wanted more than just that 9 to 5 career. I was always that kid at school that was selling stuff, running businesses, doing this, hustling, trying to make extra money. So when I got my first job, which was a very, very good job in a school, I was earning good money, had a good pension. You know, there was still something bugging me every single day that, no, I've got to do something different. I have to do something different. So I started a eBay business at the time, and eBay was just starting then, you know, and this was the era where a lot of eBay millionaires were made. And, you know, it started simply by one of my friends saying to me, James, he came around my house for a few beers and he saw a printing machine in my office. It was an A3 printer, like a drafting printer. When I was doing my master's, I had it to print off plans and all of that. He said, have you ever thought about selling some pictures on eBay? I'm like, yeah, what's eBay? Like, and he showed me what eBay was, like a selling platform. And I thought, nah. He goes, look, let's try this. We were about to go out for a night out. I still remember we went on to Yahoo and we found an image of a Ferrari 250 Dino in red on a black background. I still remember this. We downloaded it in the highest res that we could and we superimposed it on a frame and we made a listing and we put it on eBay. $9.99 with $2.99 delivery. Mario, shit you not. We went out. We came back 6 hours later and twice the car sold, the poster sold online on eBay. I'm thinking to myself, man, what's going on here? So then the next day, I expanded the range to every damn car I could find. And I thought, 5 pictures, 10 pictures, 20 pictures are selling. I'm thinking, I'm making a few $1,000s here or pounds here now every other month. So from there, I expanded that business into a printing business. I bought a slightly bigger machine, and I had that business for 13 years. And by the end of it, I was in 20,000 square foot. I had £2 million worth of print presses. Some of my machines were worth 2 million. And I was servicing clients like Google, Facebook. We were printing stuff for exhibitions. So something that started off with a small picture, man, you know, some of these billboards you see on buildings when you're driving down Shakeside Road, we used to print all of that. We used to print stuff for exhibitions. And all of this started in a little bedroom at home, just with my friends saying, have you thought about selling images? Now, I wasted a lot of money. I made a shit ton of money, but I wasted a lot of money. There was one time in the height of everything, I had 7 cars. I could only drive 1 car, you know, but it's stupidity. And I still remember when I was 28, my son was born. My first son was born when I was 27. He's 28. And we lost 3 of our biggest accounts from the printing business. And I knew we couldn't survive. So we went into liquidation. So I had to hang it up, sack all the staff. We folded. But you know what saved me, Mario? It was the one property that I had. So what I used to do with the profits that I made with the company, I was always buying something. I'd buy a flat, I'd buy a property, I'd buy this. When the bank and the creditors came in and closed the business, they literally made me bankrupt. So they took everything. Absolutely. But the one thing they couldn't take was this one house. When I bought that house, I was very clever to put the title deed in my mother's name. So they couldn't touch it, you know. So I always refer to this place as my lucky house. So this was the lucky house that saved my life when things went bad. Because anybody who's been in business will have ups and downs. And, you know, I lost it all. I could have been homeless, but the house saved my life. And from that house, Mario, I was able to rebuild because that house had equity in it. You know, for anybody listening, it had made money. I bought it for X amount. It was worth X amount. And I remember I owned a piece of land and my wife said to me, she goes, look, you got 2 choices now. You can either sit at home and cry that you've lost your business because this business was like my baby, man. You know, I used to say to my wife, first it was my business, then it was my children, then it was you. This was really my baby. When you start something and to lose it all was so sad, you know.
That's crazy.
It's proper. I mean, I remember standing outside my warehouse and the tow truck arrived. It took my Porsche Cayenne. It took my 911. It took my van. It took everything one by one. And my neighbors are watching either side. And, you know.
And you're feeling like a piece of shit.
I'm feeling like a proper piece of shit. And there was a long period where I was just drinking because you just want to ease this pain, man. I'm drinking now to ease this pain. And then my wife said one thing to me. She said, you bought a piece of land in South London. because I used to do crazy shit like this. I bought a tiny piece of land. There was a house here worth 1 million, house here worth 1 million, and this piece of land came up for sale in the auction. I paid like 90,000 for it, pounds. In my head, I was thinking, I've got to be able to get some kind of planning on this, some kind of planning. And she pushed me. She said, look, that piece of land you got, go and try and get the planning. She goes, you're sitting around doing nothing, try and get the planning. And we got the planning. We read the planning document. They gave me planning permission to build a 2-story, 1-bedroom house. And I remember getting that planning and that day thinking, okay, now I can start to get myself back on my feet. But I'm like, how do I get the money? Then I referred back to that lucky house of mine that had equity in it. I went to the bank. I was able to refinance because by this time, although I'd been made liquidated by my business, nothing was showing on my credit file.
Mhm.
So I could still take a loan technically. So I refinanced. I pulled like £150,000 out of that and I built this house. And that's where my real estate career really started, with that first lucky house, that plot of land. And then after that, it was just like, let's keep going, let's keep going, let's keep going, let's keep going. So for me, property is very, man, it saved my life. When I think about it emotionally, it's got a real soft spot for me. That's why when I sell real estate, I love it, man. I eat it, I breathe it. Anything to do with real estate, I love. So when I sell to people, there's a real passion, man. It's not just sell you something and forget about you. I'm there for you all the step of the way because it holds such an emotional connection for me.
That's a crazy story.
Yeah.
From all my invitees who I had here, it was,
Yeah.
wow. Really?
But I'll tell you another crazy story, Mario. When I started that build for that new build house, I didn't know about builders. I didn't know about contractors. So I needed to find someone to build this house. So who did I find? I'm in the gym. I know there's a builder there. I see him every single day. I've seen him for the last 3-4 years. I asked him to do the job for me. Bro, he fucked me.
No
He
way.
built the building too high. The building was supposed to be built 1.2 meters below the ground. He started it on ground level. And there was a neighbor there. He's an architect and he sits at home and where he works, his bifolding door was looking at the site. He said to me, James, he rang me, he goes, James, there's a problem here. I go, what's the problem? He goes, I think your building's too high. And in my head, I'm thinking, what the fuck? I went down there and it was too high. Turned out this guy doesn't know how to read any drawings, no nothing. So again, we lost £50,000 with him. And I'm thinking to myself, fuck, man, I've just lost my company. I've just refinanced. I've lost another 50 grand. How do I come back from this? Lucky for me, I was able to go over to my in-laws and borrow some money from my in-laws to plug that gap. And we ended up giving them like a 7 or 8% return on their money. So it was all good. But I remember looking at this site thinking, you fucked up with the business. You've just taken another loan. I'm standing there. I remember it raining. I had a hole in the ground. No, a building that's too high that needs to be ripped down. And emotionally, I'm thinking to myself, man, the easiest thing to do right now would just be fucking run over by a car or jump off of a bridge and all your fucking problems are solved. But I carried on going. carried on fighting these battles. And man, when we built that house, it broke all of the rental records in the area. It broke all of the valuations in the area. And that one property has been my most profitable property out of my portfolio since the day I built it. It's never been empty for less than 6 hours.
So you're still holding that property?
I still hold it.
Wow.
Because there's an emotional attachment there.
It's
You know?
crazy, especially if you have kids. I feel it. I guess we as entrepreneurs, the mostly pressure what we have is, you know, who I moved to Dubai, I moved into other countries and because I got raised in Germany. So I saw it a lot of times moving out of the country, but you're in a comfort zone.
Yes.
You grow up in that place, you grow up in that country. And every time I was afraid, till as well one man told me, Mary, what do you have to lose? Are you a millionaire? I said, no, I'm not a millionaire. He said, do you have properties in 7 figures? I said, no, I don't have it. He said, so if you move in another country and even if you're not succeeding, what are you losing?
Yeah.
I said, yeah, you're fucking right. But now having a family, having 2 kids,
Yeah.
the pressure, what is weighing on their shoulders to say,
Yeah.
should I go this risk? Because scaling your business, growing, opening a new company, investing more money into assets is every time a fight between the angel on your left shoulder and the devil on your right shoulder. And in your back mind, every time your wife and your 2 kids, and you're
Yeah.
thinking, that could risk all of our assets what we have.
Yeah.
But if it works, we are done. But if it's not work,
we are done as well.
We are done as well. So it's very hard. It's very hard if you're an entrepreneur and having family and kids, that pressure. Because if you're alone, okay, I will find my food, I will find my water.
Yeah.
But saying one day or having in mind you don't know how to bring the food for your family on the table.
Yeah.
It's pain.
But you know what? I'm glad you said that, Mario, because I think a lot of people don't understand the baggage that a married man with children carries. It's not baggage. It's weight. It's good weight. And I saw an Instagram reel of this where there was a man running and he had a backpack on. He's carrying 2 children and he's trying to run this race. And then there's a man on this side that's just a man. There's nothing. And the message from that was like, you know, some men are carrying a lot more weight than other men. So don't compare yourself to somebody who isn't carrying that. Totally. And when I compare that to real estate here in Dubai, if someone like me and you were comparing ourselves to someone who's 25, no family, single, no girlfriend, lives in an apartment, only person he needs to take care of himself, you can't compare yourself to that because you're providing for your family, your kids, you're building wealth, you're building generational wealth for your children. Whereas this guy, all he's concerned about is closing a deal, buying a G-Wagon, you know, getting a nice Rolex and going to the beach clubs on the weekend. It's a totally different thing, but it's so hard sometimes. For me, when I see like younger people, I'm thinking, shit, man, like I need to be working harder. But then I need to remind myself, dude, you're a father. You got a 16-year-old, a 9-year-old. You got other things to do.
100%. And as well, we have different type of expenses. And this is what I'm saying as well to my agent all the time.
Yeah.
I say, if you make 400,000 dirhams.
Yeah.
So I say, you're living in a studio apartment. The studio apartment is costing you 55,000 dirham per year.
Yeah.
I said, so one day it's not to be a good agent, or not even good. It's not good. Let's say an agent who's closing deals, who's good. It's not in the stars to make you 400, 500,000 dirhams on commission per year.
Yeah.
So with this 400, 500,000 dirham commission, let's say you're covering 55,000 dirham a studio apartment. Let's go to a 1-bedroom, 80,000 dirham or 90,000 dirham. It's remaining 350, 320,000. So what else you have? We have costs for the car, maybe private insurance. That's it.
Yeah.
Coming as a family father, my daughter's school is costing me 120k per year.
Yeah.
My nursery of my son is costing me 50k per year. So you're already 200k is just away from school and nursery fees.
Yeah.
Then of course you need a house, or you need at least 3-4 bedroom plus maid. Then you have a maid to pay. Then you have a driver because you are busy as an entrepreneur. So just your living expenses, just expenses to pay, it's 350-400,000 k.
Yeah.
So this have to come in, and then we don't talk about holidays, we don't talk about living a good life, gifting your wife. We have different type of ways than all the single bachelors.
I'm so
around.
glad you get it, because there's a lot of people that don't. I mean, majority of the people I meet out here, it's very rarely I meet people that are married with children. I'm starting to see more of them, but you just hit the nail on the head, man. Like, if you think about it, us as guys that run real estate companies or as brokers brokering deals, it's actually harder for us because we've got more expenses to think about, and the driving force behind us is the children and the wife to go out there and really go smash it, man. And sometimes it can get a bit too much.
Yes. Well, sometimes I'm sitting with the neighbors, we are laughing a lot. We said, let's open a fucking private school.
Yeah.
Let's take us 120,000 dirham each kid. Alhamdulillah, we are living a good life.
Absolutely,
here.
Man. I'm beginning to think the same thing with schools.
Well, we have to do a crowdfunding, opening an international school here.
Quick break to share some exciting news from DubaiView. Our boutique approach means we get exclusive first access to some of the Dubai's most remarkable properties. Just this month, we've added stunning new listings that aren't available anywhere else. Want to be first to know about these hidden gems? Visit our website for private consultation. Now, back to our conversation.
So, what was your decision moving out from UK and coming to Dubai?
So there was two driving factors. I think you talked about it earlier. I was too comfortable, Mario. When you're comfortable, you're not growing. So I had to get comfortable with being uncomfortable so I could grow again. So in the UK, I had a good model. I used to build multi-let houses. So buy a house, split it into 6 rooms, 8 rooms. And I had the model down to a T. I knew exactly what to do. I knew where I'd get funding lines. I could do this. I realized very early for me, I used to like to create the house. After the house was created, I got bored. I didn't want to deal with the tenants. I didn't want to deal with rentals or anything like that. So we came out here on a holiday, me, my wife, and my 2 kids. My sister's been living here for 8 years, and I was the only person who never came to see her. So we came to see her. 1 week holiday turned into a 3-week holiday. And I remember on the way home, my wife said to me, she goes, would you consider moving to Dubai? And, split second there, I just answered yes. I said, yeah. She goes, well, let's do it then, and this was in April. And then by August, we were here. We're talking, our house was packed up. You're talking about 17 years worth of shit was thrown out, sold, given to people. We had to renovate the house to rent the house. So I kept hold of all of my portfolio and it's still being managed, but we had to get stuff in order. There was a time ticking here. I still remember when the container arrived outside our house, and that's when it was final, man. When these guys are loading up your stuff, you're thinking, fuck, man, this is real now. And you're staring at an empty house, and then you've packed your suitcases. You've got like 25 suitcases. I remember we had like nearly over a quarter of a ton worth of weight in the airport that we brought with us. And I think the decision for me was I was getting too comfortable. I wanted to try something new. And at first, I was really nervous, man. Like really, really nervous. I got here. I don't know about you, but for the first 3 months, I thought I'd made the biggest mistake of my life. Like, I didn't have no plan when I came in. My plan was just to chill and manage a few projects here and there. Bro, within 2 weeks, I was going crazy, man. Like, proper crazy. You go to the gym, you go and have a coffee, you meet with some people, you go smoke a cigar. After that, like, there's still so many hours in the day.
Yes.
And I'm walking around, and my wife said to me, she goes, listen, you're going to go mad, go and do something. And then, then I decided I have to get into what I know. And what do I know? Real estate.
Nice.
So,
and you opened directly the company? No?
So I went and worked with Provident for a year. No, for 10 months. For 10 months. And I treated that place like my education. I'm open to say it because I was there early in the morning, man, when no one's there, bro. And I was there late till night because for me, this is the first time in 20 years I'm working for somebody else. I've never done that. It was a difficult thing. And I wanted to respect the person. I turned up on time. I'd done what I was supposed to do. And I realized within 6 months, I'd learned the whole system. I knew how the system worked. It's not rocket science once you know what's going on. Yes. And then I realized that actually every single client that I'm servicing is my own client. And then I started to realize that there's a lot of flaws. The company's great, don't get me wrong. It's a big brand, it's well known. But internally, certain systems are broken. The way they treat people is broken. Real estate in general, they treat people like shit. There's no law. They don't respect staff. Majority of the companies, apart from a very few, respect their staff. Here, they don't give a shit.
No, this is crazy. That's why I never was growing too much.
Yeah.
My partners, who I'm partnering up, so we have multiple real estate companies.
Yeah.
So my partner, Alexander, he's dealing with Germany and Spain. They have Mallorca, Marbella, Germany. There they scaled 300, 200, so in totally on agents.
Yeah.
So, but here in Dubai, who I'm dealing with, I'm just responsible of DubaiView. I say never, ever you will see DubaiView reaching at as well just 100 agents.
Yes.
Because you can be the best advisor, you can teach them as much as you want, but you cannot deal with 100 agents by yourself.
No.
You need a team leader.
Mm-hmm.
And even if you have the weekly meetings with your team leaders, they will not give the heart, what you're putting into the company, the philosophy, how to treat clients, your sales skills to the agents.
Yeah.
And much more, you are growing up. And I know a lot of CEOs from big real estate companies, they are killing it. And I know the times who they was by themselves agents, they were smashing it. So they are good people. But the company get slowly a bad reputation because they cannot control it anymore.
Yeah.
And if you're reaching and this ball starts rolling, You cannot hold more than both. So that's why I said I will stay a small boutique developer, because coming into the fact in the end of the day, even if you have 1,000, 1,200 agents or brokers.
Yeah.
And this was a nice sentence what Colin last time said in our podcast. He said, if you put all the registered agents together and you're looking on the sales, what's going on in Dubai, it means each broker just could make 2 deals a month. And out of these figures, you already see, and I saw with my eyes, having 1,200 brokers, you have 200 brokers, they're killing it, they are the sharks, and 1,000 is just heavyweight for you. They're complaining your leads are not good, they're not getting this, they're not getting this, they're not. But what you guys are doing? How is it possible that the other 200 brokers, the leads are good, they can close the deals, at the buy company, why you cannot do it, you know? And then you have this heavyweights who's taking you down and you're pushing just money into it.
Yeah.
Well, I say, no, better having 20 motherfuckers.
Yeah, hungry
and
guys.
They are killing it.
Yeah.
I can make much more revenue than having 1,200.
Yeah, we got the same idea. You know, we're a small team of 10 people. And we quite like it like that, because what we're realizing, fresh blood that comes to us is not coming to us from Dubai. We got most of our agents have been coming from the US recently.
Nice.
And, you know, ladies that have really understood the system, and me and my business partner have trained them personally on the way we sell. And we've almost mirrored them, made them into mini us, like mini me's and mini him. And when you see someone who's come and she's been here for 4 weeks or 3 weeks, and she's gone out there and actively got listings for herself. She's picked an area, got the listings, listed them, and started renting and started selling. You think to yourselves, okay, this girl actually listened to every single thing I said and she consumed it. And that's what we want to do. We don't just want to get 50 people in a room. Like, all of these big companies will hire 50 people and they hope that out of the 50, 3 or 4 people will stick around. But people don't realize, just because an agency's offered you a job, it doesn't mean you're special. They're offering 200 people jobs. Because I get it from London. People say, oh, James, they offered me a job, man. I'm really excited. I say, bro, they've offered everybody a job. You could have a criminal record. You could be a thief. You could have come out of prison. They don't give a shit. You're not special. The only way they look at you is, are you going to be somebody you could potentially close for them? Because that's all they're worried about.
100%.
Whereas with us, we're looking, has this person got potential? Is this person going to be with us long term? I don't want to put someone through training and then they're shit. You know?
Yeah, I totally agree with you. That's hard. That's why consistency, training, changing. But you think as well, you don't have to fire because they will not survive. But sometimes I see agents that they're not closing 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. They're still living in Dubai. If I would not close 6 months, I was not even sitting more in the economy. I would sit there who the cats and the dogs are. Traveling back, traveling back to Germany.
You've hit the nail on the head, man. I look at some agents and I think, bro, you're not closing nothing for 4 months. I'm not having a go at him. I'm sitting with him saying, dude, I'm genuinely worried for you. Like, how the fuck are you surviving?
For OnlyFans.
yeah. What are you selling? Like, you know? And they're like, and they're so chilled. Or like, when I get into my office, I'm in my office at 7 a.m. You know, I go to the gym, I'm in the office, first one in. Sometimes I look around and I see people walking in at like 11, 12 o'clock and I think to myself, man, you guys are super rich. I say it to them sometimes. I go, you guys must be rich. They're like, what are you talking about? I go, you like get up at 10, you have a shower, your hair, there's no sense of urgency, you know? The Sheikh said it, didn't he, in his speech? He goes, when you wake up in Dubai every day, you're either the lion or the gazelle. I said, you guys are fucking sheep, man. You're just sleeping. You don't give a shit. I go, by 12 o'clock, people are closing deals, man. Business is done. And you're just starting. And it really, really worries me when I see that. And I think we're very similar in the sense, but Mary, I don't know about you, Mary, if I don't close something every week, I get fucking scared.
Yes.
Like, I get nervous.
Yes.
And people are saying to me, James, you've banked, man. You've broke your targets. You've done this. Why are you worried? I said, because I wake up every single morning and I'm fucking starving.
Yes.
Not for food. I'm starving to hit numbers, you know? I'm starving to, I know what my KPI is in social media. I know what I need to do with my family. I know what I want to do in my business. I know what I achieve. And I'm starving from morning till night.
I totally agree with you. By me also, I would feel in depression. If I would say, well, 2 weeks, nothing going, fuck, what's going on? What's happening?
You start doubting yourself, right?
How is it possible?
Do
I something wrong? And then you say, fuck, these are decent times in the market. Everything is going well, so you don't have to be worried. You survived multiple years here.
Yeah.
So for what are you scared? But I guess this is that if you want more, you're not happy.
Yeah.
If you put your target with 10 deals a month, for example, you're reaching it, you want to get 15, from 15 to 20. So
Yeah.
it's pretty hard. It's pretty hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
But coming back to your podcast.
Yeah.
So I guess many viewers and listeners who will see our podcast, they will recognize you from G2 Hub podcast.
Yeah, J2. Yeah.
What you are the host out of it. How much input gave you that podcast, starting that journey, let's say publishing on YouTube or on social media?
Yeah.
Who leads coming in through your social media or YouTube?
Yeah, so look, I started that podcast. It was a little bit selfish, to be fair, because I just wanted to speak to great people, man.
Mm.
And when I started it in the UK, I did speak to some great people. Back then, I started it during COVID or just before. So when I started it, was a lot of online Zoom. And I even remember when I started my podcast, there was no video back then. It was just audio, just listening. So that's how old school it was. And I started, like I said, selfish reasons, so I could get people on, so I could pick their brains and learn from them. And then it started to get a bit of a following. People started to really look forward to it. But for me right now, I love doing the podcast. I love learning, man. It's like right now, I'm learning from you, Mario. I'm sitting here, certain things you're saying are registering my brain, you know? For me, I don't see, like the podcast platform, I can learn from someone who's a beginner. I can learn from someone who's been in it for 20 years, 30 years. And when I started it, I just wanted to try and give so much value to people for property, because I'd lost money. I'd got fucked here, there, everywhere by making mistakes. And I thought, if I can start a platform and it helps people, and I know in the UK it did help people, it saved people money. People were like, oh, James, I heard that on your podcast. I didn't make that mistake. I didn't do this. Or I heard this and I did it this way. But for me in Dubai right now, I love doing it because, again, I want to connect with people like yourself, personalities, people that can advise even my own audience. Like you said, sometimes it's like competition. If you bring somebody in from another company, one of your investors could be listening and thinking, oh, shit, man, that James guy is talking good. Maybe I'll approach him.
Yes.
But they won't, because they've got a relationship with you. You know, so for me, it was very much started to be like an information hub, and to show myself as an authority in my own field as well, because I want people to know that, look, I'm fucking serious about this, man. This isn't like, I haven't arrived at DXB airport. I haven't gone to fucking Karama and got myself a suit and I'm ready to go, like the starter kit, and I'm calling leads. Nah, man, there's some solid foundations behind this, you know? So the podcast has been good. Social media has been very good. I've transacted on social media many, many times before. I've had random clients message me and they've bought. I think now it's starting to get a little bit more difficult because people are always blaming this damn algorithm. Yeah, people go, oh, the algorithm's changed and my reach has changed. I say, no, bro, your content's just shit. There is nothing like that, man.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, algorithms change, but if you're not getting the same views, it means your content isn't appealing to people.
Yes.
You know, and people, they go, oh, maybe I'm shadow banned. It's like, fuck off, bro. You're not shadow banned, man. You're just doing shit content.
Yes.
Change it, you know? And I was listening to something by Meta, and Meta even said it. They said, we don't promote certain people. If you think we're promoting people, no, we don't do that. They were saying that if you think you've been shadow banned, 99% of people are not shadow banned. They're just producing shit content. It's not getting the reach.
Totally agree.
So I feel the reach isn't as strong as it was, but the right people are always watching. You know, the person who's going to buy from you is out there. So when I produce content, I know which audience I'm talking to.
Yes.
So I'm not trying to talk to everybody. I'm trying to talk to a select few audience. And I've seen it before where I look at a post and think, this only got 2,000 views. But then you think, okay, 2,000 views, that one person who asked me a question bought a 2-bedroom apartment from me and I earned 100,000 dirhams from it, you know? So don't ever take follower numbers, reach numbers, all of this, because this is a vanity metric.
I have nothing to say.
Yeah.
Look, I started as well very small. So, or it's not long. How long I have the podcast? Maybe 5 months, 6 months. I didn't have the time to be active on social media because I had to deal with my clients. I had to deal with my company. There was not even a free second to produce anything. I started now. I have maybe, if I would not lie, 459 subscribers on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I made a few deals out of it. So with 459 subscribers on numbers, I'm not saying anything. I guess in the end of the day, the investor will see you and if he can identify himself with your words, or you have experience in real estate and know, hey, this guy is not talking bullshit.
Yeah.
And this guy is working for my interests and not for the interests in his pocket.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then you win him. And if you're understanding, and this is what's making a good broker, what I'm saying as well to my agent, I say, just fucking listen, because this guy is coming with a problem and you just have to find the solution.
Yeah.
So listen to him what he wants and give him that what he wants, and then you will close the deal.
Yeah.
But changing his mind from his problem to something else, it's hard to close him.
Yeah.
Of course, protect him from bad investments and from developer who we all know they are not good in constructions. But you have to understand how you treat your client and what is the best for the client.
Yeah.
But coming back to your audience, so how is it with UK people moving to Dubai? How are the debts out of it? I had some experience with UK and London people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're not easy to handle. I say every time to my people, if you can close German investors, you can close anyone.
Are you serious?
Oh, Germans are very hard.
Okay.
Germans are very hard. If you want an example of a German investor, he will ask you as well how he can control from Diva the water supply and how it get calculated that he can know that really the Diva and water what he's paying is consumed from him. This is a German investor.
All right. Right.
Instead, you're working with a Saudi or Arabic guy. You say, Habib, you like this building? How much costs 2 floors? Okay, what are the figures? Okay, yalla, let's buy.
Yeah.
You know, but UK people are similar to Germans. They're coming with a lot of debts. Into the Dubai market. They're trying to grab, this was my experience, trying to grab the cheapest as possible. They don't have the mindset, maybe I got the wrong UK people, but they don't have the mindset that if you want something good, you have to pay as well amount of money. It's a different if I go investing in Dubai Island and being on the first row or on the second row and having a developer who's reputed to have branded let's say branded furnitures, branded stuff. We don't talk about branded buildings, but high quality equipments. Or going on the fifth row with some no-name developer, or changing to Maritime City with a developer who is since 10 years in the market but have just 10 reviews. And saying, but why this price is 5 million dirhams there, and why I can purchase a Maritime City 50 square meter more and the price is 1 million. My friend, I can buy now an Audi Q5 and I can buy a Porsche Cayenne, but okay, both are good. Audi and Porsche was a bad example, but I can buy a Toyota and a Ferrari. So the price are different. From a Toyota you get this, from a Ferrari you get this. You have to decide what you get, but I can promise you if you go with this developer, you will have problems into rental prices, you will have problems to reselling it. Instead, if you're putting now 1 million dirham more, your capital appreciation is much higher. So how is your experience with the UK people, the debts, and how you're convincing them to trust you?
They are difficult. They're difficult. And I think one of the misconceptions people have about Dubai, especially from the UK, is people think that Dubai is still cheap. You know, somebody in the UK could have a house worth £500,000 and he thinks he's a god, you know, and £500,000 here doesn't get you very far. And I'm saying to people when they come to me and they say, you know, I had a typical example. I spoke to someone yesterday. He goes, James, you know, I want to try and buy a 2-bedroom. I want to buy it here. And when I asked him, I go, how much liquid cash have you got? And he goes, £50,000. I said, bro, you know, we can't do that. You know, we can't look at a tier 1 developer. We can't even look at a tier 2. You may need to look at a tier 3, tier 4 developer that's up and coming, that's got one of those payment plans where you can put 40, 50,000 down and you're paying a little 1%. And it works for you, yeah? I go, we can put you into something like that. But I feel people have this misconception of Dubai where they think it's still cheap. And I try to say to people, Dubai's not cheap anymore. You know, you need to be coming here with a minimum, I say to them, if you got £350,000, let's have a conversation. If you haven't, then you need to rethink this. And sometimes they just feel that because they come from Great Britain, that they've got some kind of buying power. And I have to quickly break them down and say, look, no, you haven't, man. Like, I'll have people say to me, James, I want to get a 4-bedroom villa, standalone when I come to Dubai. I'll go, you got 8 million? You got 10 million? You got 12 million? And they're like, no. I thought I could buy something for $500,000. I said, shut up, man.
Yeah.
You're talking shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, they are very, very difficult. But I think for me, it'll be easier because I'm UK born and bred. So I understand I can have that conversation. I'm already on that level. A lot of those barriers have been broken. But I think for anybody who's targeting that audience, you need to be pretty blunt with them. You know, I wouldn't massage anybody's ego. If like you get certain agents that are like, they'll just agree with whatever the person's saying. If they say, oh, this, you're too soft with them. And I'm quite clear with people. I say, look, if you're not ready to buy something in the next 2 weeks, let's not have this conversation. And they're like, what? You're just going to turn me away? I said, look, respectfully, I'm not turning you away, but in the UK, you can put an offer in on a property and 4 months later,
You can still purchase it.
yeah. I'll go, here in Dubai, you put an offer in a property. If by 4 hours you haven't signed the contract, he's going to say, bounce. I'm going to sell it to somebody else.
Yeah, and then the people they're thinking are pushing.
Yeah.
So why you're pushing me?
Yeah.
If this will not happen, then something else comes. I had the same thing with one client. Was referred from a friend of mine. He said, "Look, this client is coming. He's ready to purchase." And I reached a level where I'm not discussing anymore because I think sometimes the client have to make the experience
Yeah.
to feel it with their own money, you know?
Yeah.
I don't want to protect them anymore from bad investments. And he came here and he said, yeah, I want to purchase. And I say, okay, listen, you want to purchase, you want to have something ready.
Yeah.
So, but now 60% of your money is invested in your assets, what you are working for.
Yeah.
So how you can purchase something, I say, who should be ready if you don't have that funds? Yeah, can we not reserve it for 2 months, 3 months? I say, no, we cannot reserve it for 2 months, 3 months. It's not working like this here in Dubai.
Yeah.
I said, but I can offer you something. I have something. I say, I would not recommend you more entering in JVC actual with that market price of what happened in JVC. But one of my investors gave a plot to a developer. This developer constructed on it. It was a JV. I said, and I have currently 1 bedrooms in JVC, 28th floor, full unobstructed marina skyline view. I said, for just 800,000 dirhams.
Yeah.
It's like you purchased 4 or 5 years ago from a good developer. Handover is next year, Q4 2026. Put it on the table and let's move it ahead. I say, you can easily sell it. I said, even with the market condition, what you have. Oh, sounds amazing. I didn't find anything in that price categories. Let's do it. Let's see on Tuesday the plot. And coming back, yeah, Mario, I talked with my friends in Germany and currently Iran is bombing to Israel and we are in the Middle East and they say it's not the right time to invest in the Dubai real estate market. And then I understood him and his friend, they have any idea. And if someone is thinking that Dubai will enter in a war here, all the richest Israeli people have the assets here, all the Iranian people have the assets here.
Yeah.
So no one will bomb their own assets in Dubai. I said, that's it. Okay, buy in 2 years, buy in 3 years, try again purchasing a property for 800,000 dirhams in 2-3 years in such areas.
Yeah.
I'm tired of making this discussion. They have to feel it as well. If you're showing them the good ones, and then they are talking with other brokers, what is good to talk with other brokers, but our bad behavior is that we have 80% of shitty brokers here and just 20% of good brokers who are showing them afterwards, 3-4 developers who have good prices, who have good payment plans, and say, yeah, but I have to move ahead with this because the payment plan is lucrative, the price perfect. Okay, do it. I will not protect them. I will not say this developer is bad, this developer have delay, it's an oversupply, but okay, do it. Let's talk in 3 years if you want to resell or rent the property. It's hard. It's tough.
Mario, how do you deal with people like, I'm going to ask you, sorry, you're interviewing me, but I'm going to ask you a quick question. You've probably had those clients that you've spent time with, you've proposed something to them, you may even taken them out. Because when I have a client over, we have a car, we'll take them out, we'll show them things. It's a nice experience. Well, how do you deal with those guys that take all the information from you
buying from someone else.
and go and buy from someone else, or go and buy something stupid? Yeah. And then they say to you, oh, bro, I had a relationship with this guy. Do you still carry on helping them after, or do you cut them straight down?
No, I cut them straight out.
Okay.
I cut them straight out. They cannot work more with me. And afterwards as well, they're coming, hey, why are you not sending me options? Real estate we are the worst game what we can have. If I go now to Mediclinic to talk with a doctor because I have a feet pain, he will ask me for consultancy fee, 990 dirham. Just to talk with him 50 minutes. He watched 2 minutes on my tea. He said, okay, here, take this medicine, rip me 3,000 dirham. I go, pharmacy's ripping me again. Everyone made money and I'm healed. If I want to go to a lawyer, I was needing a contract, consultation, 4,000 dirham, contract 8,000 dirham, work of 2 hours. They made 12,000 dirhams, alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
We are running from left to right, from right to left, weeks, months. If he's not purchasing from you, you made nothing.
Yeah.
So I'm very hard. I say I'm employing my investors and the investors are not employing me. If I see an investor is not serious or just trying to get my knowledge and going afterwards straight to the developer by themselves or purchasing with someone else, that's it.
Yeah.
I will not consult you. And I have many times, hey Mario, I saw that project. It's very interesting. What do you think about that project? Now I reach a level to say, I'm your consultant, and then you're buying directly with the developer or going to someone else. I say, you want my consultancy? No problem. Transfer me 5,000 dirham.
Yeah.
I give you the consultation. What you do afterwards, whatever you want.
Yeah.
But I don't give more consultations. I don't show people around who I see they're not serious or talking with 6, 7 other brokers. It's just waste of time. It's just waste of time. Yeah. And I'm very short soon before as well now to starting with deposits. Saying, okay, you want to purchase you have $500,000. You have $1 million. No problem. Give me 50,000 dirhams. 1 week, 2 week, 1 month, whatever you want. I will make you a professional investor here in Dubai. If you purchase with me, the money get refunded with the commission.
Yeah.
So the 50,000 you have it back by the property purchase. If not, that's my fees for the 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 month, what we did. Because otherwise you will be just running around left and right. All the investors will use you because they know it's free of charge.
Yeah.
Doing the things and you just waste your time.
Yeah. I mean, look, I have a quick consultation call with clients, but after that now, it's very much like you. It's $550 if you want to speak to me. Simple. And if you can't pay that, then you're not serious.
Yes.
You know, you're going to go and make the mistakes anyway.
100%. And the real investors, they will appreciate it and will do it because we are just few people who are doing this in the real estate market.
Yeah.
The other ones, but there are agents, they're giving me a 2% kickback. Yeah. Think about why he's giving you a 2% kickback.
Because he can't give you anything else.
Yes.
Yeah.
He don't have clients. He don't have knowledge. So he need you. He will be happy to get 2%. Or 1%, and even if you have a 50-50 commission agreement with the real estate company, he's going out with 1%.
Yeah, I won't do. You know what, Mario? I've been with clients in the early days. They've said to me, "Oh, James, what are you going to give me?" I said, "What do you mean? What I'm going to give you? How much are you going to give me of your commission?" I've just walked away from the deal. I said, "Listen, we can't do business together." Yes. Or now I've got a different tactic. What I do is I pull out my phone and I ring my wife. I say, "Listen, we're not going to be able to go on that holiday, or we can't go to dinner this weekend, because I've got a client in front of me. He's taking my money from my pocket." And I make this call in front of the client. They feel like such fucking idiots when you do that. I go, "Bro, that's what you're doing. You're taking money from my pocket now."
Yes, 100%. Even with this referral agreement, sometimes I'm discussing with my agents. I say, make referral agreements. It's good. Do it. So if you're even new in the market, do it. Give them a 20%. But by the first client, so it's sometimes I see my agents, they're paying one guy for the same investor what he brought every time for each deal, the referral agreement. I said, are you crazy?
Yeah.
I said, you can pay it for every new client, but not for the whole life.
Yeah.
If the game was working like this, with all that investors what I have, I would close today my real estate company.
Yeah.
I will go to the next best agent. I will tell them, Habibi, look, I give you all my clients. Just pay me 25% for each deal what they do. I will make my 100K per month.
Yeah.
No issues. I will enjoy my life all around the world. I would live for what I would go give this headache. But the people are thinking like this. Each client, referral, each. No, man. Do it with other ones. But this is because Dubai got spoiled with a lot of agents. Yeah. I guess we get pressure from you. So perfect. My last question to you: what you would advise to investors nowadays in the market?
Right now,
Yes.
to anybody you invite?
Yes.
So look, first of all, I would say you need to be very careful on who you're working with. number one, because this industry is a very low barrier to entry industry where any idiot can walk into this. And I say that in the most politest way. If you want to protect yourself as an investor, you need to speak to somebody, and don't be afraid to ask the investor, ask the broker to say, show me your Rest app and show me how many properties you own in Dubai. Show me your bank balance. Show me how much money you got, you know? And if a client asked me that, I'd happily show him. And I've had it before, because you need to be working with somebody who's doing what they say they're doing. You know, you can't be working. If somebody's saying to you, okay, buy in this place, I own 3 apartments here myself, show me. Take me to the apartments. Ask these open questions, because this market is just full of rats right now, you know, and it's bad. I've seen people tell clients that I saw an Indian broker in Damac, and he said to the client asked, what view does this building hit? He said, sir, don't worry. Every view building is rotating. And I'm like, what the fuck? And this guy's got the client's like this. I was in Shoba. This couple, Indian couple, old couple, by an Indian agent. They're buying this apartment for 2 million. He goes, sir, no problem. On handover, 8 million, no problem. And I'm like, bro. He looked at me as to say, please, man, don't say nothing. You're going to fuck my deal. You know, and sometimes I think there's this kind of level of people. Whereas when I work with someone, I send them a full investment report. I run the figures, man. I treat everybody's money like it's my money, man. So yeah, for any investor coming in, find the right person to work with. Feel the person that you connect with, someone you feel genuine bond with, someone you feel that actually, you know what? If the market goes shit, this is the guy who's going to help me. He's not just here. And I have a saying, Mario, lastly, what I say is, when you work with someone like myself, it's not a one-night stand. It's not in, out, shake it all about, bye-bye. We're married. This is long-term. You can ring me years after you bought something. When I first served you, I was hungry to get you as a client. It doesn't mean that I'm going to serve you and block you on WhatsApp when there's questions about SPAs and contracts. I've disappeared. No, I'm here for the long term.
Totally
you know,
agree.
And a lot of clients end up becoming very close friends.
James, you convinced me. My next property I will buy with you. Was a pleasure talking to you, James.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.